Hello and welcome to another episode of The Wave. I'm your host, Don Tecson, coming to you via Zoom right here in the beautiful valley of Port Alberni. The Wave is the wonderful Alberni Valley experience, and we're here to talk to a lovely young lady who's going to tell us about her wonderful Alberni Valley experience. Please welcome on the show, Genevieve. I'll let you let's say your last name.
Uno.
Yeah, I got it at last. Okay, Genevieve. Usually I start the show by introducing you, my guest, Genevieve Uno. And you were born in Calgary, Alberta.
I was, yes.
Okay, and let's start from there. Um, what drew you to, first of all, BC first, right? So what drew you
Yeah.
to come to BC?
So I was born and raised in Calgary, and I did spend a lot of my summers and vacation time in Port Alberni, on BC. And when I had just finished a certificate and diploma program at a college in Calgary, I was hungry to continue my education. So I started exploring different ways, and I felt a real call to the island. I liked what I had been hearing from friends. I had done a trip to Tofino when I was a little girl, and so I made the decision that the island was the place for me to continue my education. So I moved to Nanaimo without ever really stepping foot and having time spent in Nanaimo, and did my degree there at Vancouver Island University.
Okay, I'm curious. You were telling me that you said the way you said it was you felt the calling to the island. What does the calling feel like, or what does it sound like? What is a calling to the island?
You know that like gut feeling that you sometimes have, whether it's good or bad? That's kind of what it was for me. So it was the appeal of the natural beauty of the island. I love water sports. I love mountains. I love the trees, the smell that you just,
Mm-hmm.
that you sense as soon as you step foot into the province, really. It's very different than Alberta. So that was kind of my calling. I just kind of sat with myself for a bit and was like, okay, what kind of lifestyle do I want? What kind of education do I want? What kind of community do I want to be a part of? And that for me was the island. It kind of attracted me. So that's
Okay, so it
that's what I
sounds
mean by
like
calling.
a change of lifestyle and a change of pace. And have you ever come to a sense of like we in the island call it we have our own time, like we have island time. Have you gotten a sense of that and get a feel of what island time is all about yet?
Definitely. So I guess I should also say that I've done a lot of traveling in my lifetime as well. So I kind of knew without putting a finger on it exactly what I wanted, but island time for sure spoke to me. That was part of the calling.
So you came from Alberta to study in BC.
Yeah.
So I didn't catch it. What did you come to study for again?
So I completed a bachelor's degree in tourism management.
Oh, okay. Oh, tourism. Well, that's one of the strong things here in Port Alberni, the island, and the whole of British Columbia is tourism, right? So, anyways,
Exactly.
so you came to BC and you went directly from BC. Where in BC did you first come to?
So I first moved to Nanaimo, and I
Okay, so
spent
Nanaimo right away.
yeah, spent 2 years in Nanaimo, completed my degree, and then during that time, I had met my now husband.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah. So
him
there's
and
a love
I,
story there too, an island love
yeah,
story.
yeah, two students meet on campus. Love story. Played on our recreational volleyball team and
Oh,
went
you
rock
play
climbing together.
volleyball? You must. Oh, we must put in a team. When the social distancing thing is over, because are you aware that there is a volleyball league that goes on here in Port Alberni?
Yes, I haven't had a chance to play or engage in it yet, but my husband and I always watch it from afar, like on social media, and if they're needing to sign up.
Yeah, there were here in Port Alberni. I've had the frustration of finding a good team, especially women who play well. There are some women who play well, but there are like a handful of them only. You're hard up to find real good female volleyball players. How about badminton? Do you play
Well,
badminton?
I
There's a
wouldn't
very
I wouldn't say I wouldn't say that I'm pro, but I think that I can get the ball over the net. So
do you do you underhand serve or overhand serve?
I underhand serve. I
Oh,
haven't
that's
gotten the
fine.
overhand serve yet. So
Okay.
that's
Well,
an
most
indicator in itself.
well, as long as you get it over the net, I'll be happy to have you on my team. So how many years did you stay in Nanaimo? About 2 or 3,
Years.
2 years.
Yeah.
Okay. And then you said you didn't come to Portland, but while you were in the island, you were making trips back through and for Tofino, for the weekend, because Tofino is very popular and very famous destination for surfers and beachgoers and all that stuff. And of course, you have to pass Port Alberni, but Port
Exactly.
Alberni did not catch your attention, your interest at the time just yet.
No, not at that time. We mostly just drove through it, which is a common story that we still hear
Hmm.
today. Got our Timmies and continued on the way. So that was kind of my intro to Port Alberni, was just driving through it. And then my husband and I moved up to Prince George after I had completed my degree. So when we got up,
Prince George, oh my God, no, I'm just kidding.
Prince George is unique as well.
Well, yeah, I have a brother and a sister there, and I'm glad they're there, away from me. Anyway,
Isolated up in
well, they
central
are
North.
planning to come for a visit sometime in the summer. So I said, of course you can come to and visit, but only visit. You can't stay in Port Alberni. Port Alberni is better off without them. Anyway, I'm just kidding. Anyway, so did you stay long in Prince George?
So I only spent a couple years in Prince George as well. My husband and I, we really missed the island, and we were always looking at ways to come back to the island. So that
Yeah,
island
okay.
time, that gut feeling, that calling was still pretty consistent then. So luckily, through my husband's line of work, we were able to do a transfer, and the only position that was available was in Port Alberni. And so both of us were like, Port Alberni, we don't know what the city is like or the town is like, but it's on the island, so it'll do.
Oh, what year was this? What year was this?
That was in 2016.
Okay, I was just barely a year into Port Alberni then, because I came here 2015.
Okay.
So what brought you to Port Alberni was basically work.
Yeah.
So what kind of work was this?
So my husband works for the BC Public Service, and I was actually still in school. I enrolled in a master's program in Prince George, so I was able to basically continue traveling and moving freely without any kind of constraints. So through my husband's work, we came to Port Alberni, and now I work in the tourism industry for a
Oh, cool.
national organization.
Oh, that is so cool. So have you gotten a view or a taste of Port Alberni life? Have have you gotten a taste of your wave, your wonderful Alberni Valley experience? Tell me about your wonderful Alberni Valley experience when you got here finally in 2016.
2016, yeah, that wave just crashed onto me. I've been
Okay, tell me
fully
about that.
immersed into the experience of Port Alberni. And I love it. I think it's such a great community. This is the smallest community that I've ever lived in. Before that, it was around 80, 90,000. And then growing up in Calgary, that's in the millions. So at first I was kind of like, okay, what's the small town about? Small town living, everyone knows everyone. And I think that's a fair statement now living here, 4 years later. But I adore it. I love the outdoor rec. I love the little coffee shops and the restaurants that are popping up, and just all around, I think it's a beauty to live in. We're going to be here for a little while for sure.
Yeah, I was interviewing another person just a few days ago. Said, "Oh, to me, Port Alberni is home, and Port Alberni feels like." I like the way he said it. Port Alberni feels like forever. And he's been around like the world. He lived in New York. He lived in Wisconsin or whatever. He lived in the States, and he lived in Burnaby and Abbotsford and here and there. And when he came here to Port Alberni, Well, he says, "Oh, to me, Port Alberni is forever. It's my home." He was one of my
Yeah.
castmates in Mamma Mia. Have you ever been to the theater yet, or like the Capitol Theater?
I've been into the theater, but I haven't been to a show yet.
Oh, too
So that's
bad.
on
Not,
my bucket list of things
it's
to
gonna be a
do.
while. It's gonna be a while. So you were here in 2016. We staged Mamma Mia. Where were you?
I don't know. I was getting lost in the forest, probably.
Oh, okay. So you say you're with the tourism industry. What is that all about?
So I work for an organization called the Indigenous Tourism Association of Canada, and it's a national organization that supports, markets, and develops Indigenous tourism across Canada.
Oh, that is
So
very interesting.
yeah, it's amazing work. The team is amazing. I've been with that organization for about a year now, and I also run my own consulting company here in town called Social Route Consulting, and I work on tourism and community development through my business as well.
Oh, that's great. Yeah, I was interested because your email said social route. Is that what your
Social Route.
social route? Yeah. So what's the social route all about?
So we are a collective consultancy that looks at social and environmental development practices. So I work with anywhere from individual, small to medium-sized businesses to organizations and governments to help basically elevate and create a platform where they can integrate social and environmental sustainability practices.
Oh,
I'm
that
a
sounds
big
very
champion for
interesting.
sustainability.
Of course, especially here we have to preserve the beauty of Fort Alberni, right?
Yeah, yeah.
And yeah, how do you feel about our forests that are being raped and stripped? Where I live, I
Well,
see all the mountains around me, and I can see like patches, like the mountain got a bad haircut or something like that.
yeah, yeah. No one wants a buzz cut like that.
I know, right? That's why I'm wearing a. I miss my haircutter's appointments. I have to wear a bandana now until June the 2nd until I get a proper haircut.
Yeah, I think it would be nice to see maybe a little bit more ethical practices around our forestry here on the island. And I think there's opportunity for this community to advocate a little bit more. And, you know, our natural capital, the forest, the viewscapes are a huge asset. You know, speaking from a tourism perspective, there is more worth in having those old growth forests or local forests with trail systems nearby for tourism and recreation use rather than you know, more of an exploitive resource use.
Hmm.
But I think the community is starting to realize that and make small shifts and changes, but still a lot of work to be done, I think.
Hmm. So
Yeah,
the social route, your consulting firm, is that what you call it, a
yeah,
firm or an agency?
yeah,
So social route, does it work with nonprofits as well, or
absolutely.
just
Yeah,
okay? So can you tell me a little bit about how you work with nonprofits?
yeah. So the way that we kind of structure what we do in our services, we can provide research. So I kind of call it like the three streams of what we do. So we work within research, we work within project management or development projects, and then we also do workshops and facilitation or outreach programming. So if we are working with a not-for-profit, for example, a recent one, for example, was the Alberni Valley Transition Town Society. I was
Hmm.
their food hub coordinator for a few years, and that was under contract with Social Route. So that's a not-for-profit that looks at alternative ways of community systems and looking towards renewable energy and food security and greenhouse gas emission alleviating and mitigating those impacts. So for that was more of a management position, outreach, helping them secure policy and funding for projects around food
Oh,
security.
that is very interesting. I'm sure there's a whole episode we can devote to just talking about all that stuff. How about your husband? What's his line of work? What's his business all about?
So he works for the ministry. He's within the Ministry of Environment and Climate Change Strategy Department, or section of the BC government, and so he works in wildlife protection. So we have complementary careers.
Oh, there you go. That's wonderful. That's so nice. So now, tell me, how has your Alberni Valley experience been so far? So you bought a home. Have you bought a home already, or just still renting?
Yep, no, we bought a home. When we first decided to make the leap back to the island, we had 7 days to find a home. We came down and it was a bit of a whirlwind, and we took a look at all the homes available. It was January too, so not a lot on the market. But we decided to put an offer on a home. We found one, and yeah, so we've been in that home for 4 years now. And yeah, my Port Alberni experience has been really cool. I've gotten to know a lot of people. I think I've made some really valuable connections with the business community, and just, for friends and socializing. And then it's such a great spot just to bounce to different areas too and explore the island, which I didn't get a chance to do as a student in Nanaimo as much as I wanted to.
Well, yeah, because Port Alberni is sort of like the middle of the island. So we're like the heart of the island, actually. So you can go to Tofino, you can go to Victoria, you can go to Nanaimo. There was a point in history where Port Alberni was like sort of like post number one, like the launching point, the rich people from all over the world. And this was the time when there was no plumbing in hotels. Like the first class hotels didn't have any plumbing yet, but they're first class. That's how old it was. But people like aristocrats from all over the world would come here with their entourage and start exploring the island from Port Alberni. So post number one would belong to Port Alberni because there was a train that went from Victoria to Port Alberni.
Right. Yeah,
I don't know why they haven't revived the train just yet. Well, anyway, with COVID, who needs it with all this COVID stuff going on?
Exactly.
So tell me about places you've been to. Have you been to like the Hole in the Wall, the Lookout?
Yeah, been to the Hole in the Wall, the Lookout, Cold Creek Falls, Weiner Falls. Adventured around Sprout Lake. Done the Inlet Trail.
The Lookout. How about up Mount Arrowsmith, where all those cell towers are?
I haven't actually gone up Mount Arrowsmith yet. I've done the Saddle Ridge Trail, but it's definitely on the bucket list. I'm not sure why I haven't. It just hasn't come up yet.
Well, it's gonna be there anytime you want to go. Like I was boasting some time ago. Here in Port Alberni, if you're looking for mountains, take your pick because we have Copper Mountain.
There are so many.
Yeah, exactly right. Because we're in a valley, so we're surrounded by mountains, by the ocean, by lakes. And have you heard of Della Falls yet? The highest falls?
Yes. I hiked to Della 2 years ago now with a couple friends.
You've been to Della Falls? Oh, you beat me to it. For me, that's just a plan to go to Della Falls.
You have to get that on your priority list because it's an amazing hike. It's not too difficult, which is nice. It makes it a little bit more accessible for everyone. And then once you get up there, it's just beautiful, and you can spend a few nights just at the base of the falls and adventure around. It's definitely one that I always tell my friends, if you're looking to do a multi-day, that's the one.
Well, actually, before all this pandemic stuff came around, the producers and the co-hosts of The Wave were already planning a hike up Della Falls, where we're going to hike up to Della Falls. We were even planning practice hikes, like, to get us warmed up for the Della Falls ascent, if you want to call it that. And we were going to do different practice runs of the Della Falls, and then we're going to hike up to Della Falls, and at sunrise we're going to do our yoga poses and our yoga exercises, and we're going to caption it as, "This is how we get high in Port Alberni," like Della Falls. But now it's just a dream, or a plan, not a dream, but a plan, when all this social distancing stuff all just settles down once and for all.
Well, it sounds like a good plan.
Well, yeah, but have you gone skydiving yet? In Qualicum?
Well, I had been skydiving before, but not in Canada.
Oh, really? So where did you go skydiving?
I went skydiving in Switzerland in
Oh,
a
wow.
town. Yes, Switzerland was beautiful. But in a small town called, and there was these two interlocking means like interlocked or between two or something like that. And there was these beautiful two twin lakes, and the community is between the two lakes. So when you go skydiving, you get a really great view of the lakes and of the Swiss Alps, and have a 30 seconds to reflect on your life as you soar through the sky.
That's true. That's the same thing that happened to us. We went skydiving in how high did you go in your skydive?
So we went via helicopter, and I
Okay.
believe we were 14,000 feet.
Ooh, wow. That's quite
Yeah.
high.
Yeah.
We went in a little plane that went up to 10,000 feet. But it was
Okay.
such a beautiful day. I remember the date, October 14, 2019. It was such a beautiful day. I could see Nanaimo, I could see Tofino. It was such a beautiful day. And we had about 45 seconds of your free fall and then
Yeah.
your slow descent
Yes.
to the ground below. It was exhilarating. And we were planning to do that again on the summer solstice on the
Oh, that would
21st
have
of
been nice.
June. We might still do it. We'll see how it goes. Right. So
Except that you have someone strapped to your back. That's not social distancing.
yeah, I know. So we might, but you can take a class or something. You have to pay a fee, take a class, and you can do a solo jump. So
Oh,
that's,
okay.
yeah.
Yes, I've
But
heard of
before you
that.
can
Yeah.
do the solo jump, you have to do the tandem jump. So the tandem jump's out of the way now. So now we have to plan for the solo jump.
There you go.
And just to be sure, I already have my will in place and my power of attorney, and who gets to pull the plug just in case I fall and get into a coma or whatever. Well,
Well, let's hope that doesn't happen.
yeah. So tell me, so you've been here in Port Alberni for 4 years now, I guess.
I guess, yeah, it's been 4 years.
So what month did you come here again in 2016? You came here in 2016. Around what month
Yeah.
was that?
It was either February or March. I can't
Okay.
remember. Yeah.
And so basically for February, March, so we're past March in 2020, and you have been here basically 4 years in Port
Yeah.
Alberni. How are you liking it so far? How are you liking your wave?
It's okay, I guess.
I'll have to edit that part out. You have to elaborate.
No, like I've said, I'm really enjoying it. We have a dog, so we walk around all the time. We've got a good group of friends. There's quite a younger demographic that are
Mhm.
moving here, so it hasn't been super hard to make friends, and everyone seems to be down for new adventures here too. It's not just a place where you've kind of fall into a routine. I've found that my social circles are always interested in exploring new areas. We like to cook dinners or food together pre-COVID. And then with the rise of new restaurants coming in, it's been fun just to explore those too, and get those foodie experiences that when I first moved here, I was missing a little bit. You can go through the restaurants pretty quickly. But now, you're seeing new places pop up. So it's like it's always evolving, and there's always something exciting to do. You're not
Okay,
short of
so
activities.
since we already touched on restaurant, let's go through a list and compare. Little Bavaria, yes or no?
Yes, I've been
Okay.
there, and my background, my ethnicity is German and French, so
Okay,
I,
there you
I
go.
enjoy a good schnitzel.
Well, I have a friend who knows how to make schnitzel.
Oh,
So I should invite you when all these social things are done and over with. I'll invite you over for a real schnitzel, homemade. All right.
sounds good. Sounds
Little
good.
Bavaria, Orestes Greek Cuisina.
Yep, been there.
Okay. Twin City Brewery. Is
Yes,
that
I've been there.
you're always there? Those are. I would imagine that's where you usually hang out.
Yeah, no, it's definitely a local watering hole for me for sure.
Okay. The Cypress Cafe in the casino.
Yep, been
O-
there.
Okay. Solda's restaurant,
Yes,
the
once, just
oldest.
recently.
Oh,
Just recently.
recently.
Yeah.
What did you take out because of the COVID, or you've been to Solda's before the
No,
COVID?
it was this past winter, so I
Okay.
was able to go with a friend and sit in.
Okay, cool. Let's see. Pescadores.
Yep.
Okay. Swale Rock Cafe.
Yep.
All right. Let's see. What else do we got in our list? Of course, Starboard Grill.
Yep.
Okay. Swept Away Inn.
Yep.
The Tugboat
Yep.
with
Big fan of
Bushra and
theirs.
Dan.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Where else have I? I've gone through all the restaurants here. Clam
Brie and
Bucket.
Barrel. Brie
Brie
and
and Barrel.
Barrel.
Of course, Brie and Barrel. Brie and Barrel is relatively new. So I was
Yeah.
saving that for last. That's one of
Okay.
my favorites. But Clam Bucket,
Yep.
Boomerangs.
Yep.
I better remember everybody, otherwise I'll be in hot water. That fish place. I don't really go.
Bare Bones.
Bare Bones. Thank you. You've
Tried
been to
that.
Bare.
Yep.
Yeah. We mentioned Swale Rock already, right? And
Yeah.
Buck Snorts.
I have been to Bucksnarts as well.
Okay, there you go. How about the local pubs like the Port Pub and the
Hmm.
Kingsway Pub, and then
Yep.
there's West Wind.
Yep.
Okay, of course, Boston Pizza. That's a given.
Yes. They used to have like a music trivia bingo night when I first
Oh,
moved here.
really?
So some friends and I will go do that. I think it was on Tuesday nights or Wednesday nights. But yeah, this is fun. If anyone says I don't support local, I'll just show them this video, this
Oh,
recording.
definitely. Of course, you got to support local. What about your shopping? Have you been to the local shops here? Like, well, there's Gale's Fashion,
Hmm.
there's Caliber Gifts, there's Boundless Beauty, there's Funk Trunk,
Yes.
and okay, cool. You are an Albernian now. You are having a wave.
I've earned my a small badge.
You have 3 waves, like
Yes,
5 waves.
3 waves. I've learned to surf on those waves now.
It is. Like, you tell me. I mean, you say yes or no. Like, isn't it wonderful to live in a small community, but it's got a big, big heart?
Yes,
In your
absolutely.
4 years, have you ever been to the? I don't know. I consider it the event of the year in Port Alberni. We're not going to be having it this year, but sadly, we're not going to be having the biggest. The biggest event here, but for me, is the Ty Watson Gala at the Italian Hall, where people dress up. You feel like you're in the Oscars. They don't have a band; they have an orchestra
Oh
in
wow.
in that dinner. Living 5 years here, I only attended the gala once, and it was just totally like that's where the heart of the community is showcased, so to speak,
Mm,
because they raise money for the Ty Watson House. They raise
yeah,
money for the Hospice Society, Alberni Hospice Society, and
yeah.
they raise like hundreds of thousands of dollars in one night.
That's so
That's how
impressive.
generous the people are here,
Yeah,
right? And it's
yeah.
just too bad that we're not going to be having that gala this year. Although I
That
am,
is unfortunate.
yeah, it is unfortunate. But I think they're going to bring the gala online because I already bought my outfit for Pete's sake. So anyway, I am interviewing in the coming week. I'm interviewing the executive director of the Alberni Hospice Society. Her name is Teresa Ludvigsen, and we
Okay.
both agreed that in the interview, I'm going to be wearing my gala outfit, and she's going to be
Yes,
wearing her gala outfit. And we're going to invite other people from Port Alberni. Like, come on, let's dress up and let's have a gala online.
I think that sounds like a great idea. I
Yeah,
love that idea.
we'll invite you if we get an outfit
Okay,
or something.
I'll pull out my gala dresses and
Okay, so you pretty much lived a very active and social life here in Port Alberni since you've got here. Now that this COVID crisis has hit, how has it been for you?
I mean, I think for like everyone, it's been a bit of an I am lucky in that my business is home based and my work with the Indigenous Tourism Association of Canada is remote. So I'm fortunate enough that I have a home based office here. So that hasn't been too much of a change. But I feel like I kind of went through like a little bit of a roller coaster with my emotions over the last couple months. Some days I'm feeling really good and okay with the constant, and other times I feel a little fearful, especially in the early days. It was a lot of change and a lot of uncertainty, but yeah, I'm lucky that, you know, my husband's job is relatively safe. My brother is also living in our household, so, you know, in terms of socializing, there's a small group of us, you know, to keep each other entertained and safe. So it's been okay. And, you know, even just going back to how lucky we are to live in a community that cares so much and has reacted so quickly. I've felt a sense of security just living here alone because of the way that the city and other organizations have reacted. So that was really great. And then the trails have been a saving grace for me. Honestly, my sanity would have gone out the window weeks ago if I didn't have those trails.
Yeah, at least you get to walk your dog out in the trails, right? What kind of dog do you have, by the way?
She is a rescue, and she's like a healer cross with
Okay.
something. Yeah.
Okay, I just remembered I have to mention another place to go to, like a hangout or a coffee shop. Otherwise, my friend will kill me. Have you ever been to the Steampunk Cafe?
Isn't Carol Ann a part of the wave?
Yeah, she is. That's why. So I have to mention the Steampunk Cafe.
Yes, I have been to the Steampunk Cafe. Great place. Love their coffees. Love the atmosphere.
Yeah.
It's good.
Well, you know, I'm just so proud of even the small business owners around town. So I guess you get to work with the local business owners here with your line of work.
Yeah. So Social Root actually created a support and recovery group about a month and a half ago in response to the COVID pandemic, where we thought it would be helpful and supportive to offer a platform for the tourism businesses here in town. So it's called PA Together for Tourism. I'll put a little plug in there. But
yeah, please. I mean, yeah, plug away. It's PA.
yeah, so the idea is for the tourism industry to come together and have a platform for resources, toolkits, streamline that already exists. I had a webinar series for the last month where I had experts come in and give their opinions and support, so that hopefully the tourism businesses could react and adjust to the changes that they were experiencing. And a lot of them a lot of the webinars were also open for just businesses in general. So for those who are listening after this, they're welcome to go onto my website and listen to those webinars because they're really important. And yeah, so I do get to work with the business community here.
What is the website? What is the website that they can go to you know, tune into these webinars and stuff?
So it's a Facebook group, and they can just search PA Together for Tourism. They can also go onto Social Root Consulting's website, and there's an information page on there. But we're active and engaged on the Facebook group.
So is your website .ca or .com?
.com. www.socialrootconsulting.com.
Okay, and then the other one is a Facebook group called PA Tourism, PA for Tourism?
PA Together for Tourism.
PA Together for Tourism, and you'll find that on Facebook. Do you have any YouTube pages or YouTube channels that we can check out as well?
No YouTube channels, no. Social Roots on Instagram, so we post a lot of pictures there, but your best bet for the support and recovery group for the tourism businesses is the group on Facebook.
So in this line of work that you do, have you gotten a chance to work with local businesses in town?
Yeah, I have.
Is that how you know Carol Ann?
I actually don't know how I know Carol Ann. I think just through the chamber or something like that.
Well,
so
she's also part of the wave.
Yes.
But with all this social distancing now, we can't do a show together, like actually do together. I try to do like just interviews with them as much as possible, but they're also busy with other stuff. So I'm the one with all the time in my hand. So I took up the sort of like
nice.
took up the torch of carrying on with the wave by myself for the meantime. But we do hope to get back on the air soon. But like Nancy Wilmot of Shaw has been very, very, very supportive of our show and so many other people here in town. Because the wave actually is my way of saying like how much I love Port Alberni and how much I want to put to silence all these negative things being said about Port Alberni. Because
Yeah.
so many things are being said about bad things are still being said about Port Alberni. I'm sort of like heartbroken. There's this finalist, this young girl who was a finalist in American Idol, and she did her performance out in Sprout Lake in Port Alberni, and even the judges were wowed at the background where she was doing, but not a single time was Port Alberni ever mentioned.
I also watched that episode and I realized that too. It's a shame that it wasn't because
Well,
we
as a
can
matter
use
of fact, not even Vancouver Island was mentioned. Not even Vancouver was mentioned. The only thing that was mentioned was British Columbia. That's it. Right? But when you go to the news and archives of news about Port Alberni and you type in Port Alberni, the first thing that will pop up, and I'm really pissed off about this, is the two murderers who came from Port Alberni. They came from Port Alberni. The murderers came from Port Alberni. The murderers came from Port Alberni over and over and over again.
Yes, we do have a bit of a record for negative news.
But I don't know why. And then I have a Google Home Assistant here. Like even I'll ask her, "Hey Google, who's the mayor of Port Alberni?" And then say, "I'm sorry, I don't know." Like not even Alexa knows who the mayor of Port Alberni is, but she knows who the mayor of Qualicum is.
So your mission through the wave is to create positive
Oh, definitely.
stories.
I'm going to make a big splash and a big wave
There
for
you
all
go.
the world to know that there's an island. There's a place in the island that has a wonderful Alberni Valley experience that you will not experience anywhere else but Port Alberni.
Perfect. I'm
I
on
don't know.
board with that.
That's how much I love Port Alberni. They may call me crazy, but so Sylvie, I'm my own kind of crazy. I'm crazy about Port Alberni. There you go. Okay, so in closing, Madame Genevieve, thank you by the way for taking the time. It's been a wonderful
Thank you so much for
interview.
having me. It was a pleasure.
So I'm just interested, like, how come we never ran into each other? Do you ever go to karaoke? Have you ever been to karaoke?
I have not ever been to
Oh,
karaoke.
that's why we never met. I mean, every karaoke night I'm there. There's a Tuesday night karaoke, there's a Wednesday night karaoke, there's a Friday night, Saturday and Sunday. The
I
only
had
days
no
we,
idea.
the only day that we didn't have karaoke was Thursday and Monday.
Okay.
But every other night there's karaoke somewhere in town. And I'm there.
So I know where to find you.
Well, not anymore because there's no karaoke. I mean, I was just in a discussion with my friends who run karaoke. There's still a big debate going on whether karaoke will be allowed with all this COVID thing going on because it is a
Right.
high risk. It is a high risk activity where you sing into the mic and you don't.
Yeah.
Right. So it's a very high risk. So, well, they'll figure it out. I hope they figure it out. There's
Yeah.
music trivia though. There's music trivia on Zoom. There's a group that does music trivia on Zoom. So I'll invite you one of these days. I think we're having one on Sunday.
Okay.
And there's people from all over Canada. There's people from Winnipeg and people from Toronto. It's like about 25 people.
I didn't realize
yeah,
that.
and the theme for this Sunday, I think, is I'll email you the link. I'll send you the link on Facebook Messenger. I think the theme is 70s music.
Okay.
My time. Sorry, I don't think it's your time. I'm in the 70s.
I'm an 80s baby, so
you're
close.
An 80s? Are you an 80s baby?
Yeah.
We just did 80s last week. Well, you can go into teams.
Okay.
In the Zoom music trivia. Okay, so just I'll give you a chance to plug away whatever you want to plug away, and just to cap off your wonderful Alberni Valley experience, what would you like to say to the viewers about your wonderful Alberni Valley experience? Like to, put the cherry on the parfait, so to speak.
Oh, well, I guess in closing, I would just really reiterate the fact that Port Alberni is definitely a place with heart. The community just cares so much, and it's easy to make those connections, and that's really what I've valued in my time here so far. The outdoor recreation is amazing. If you're a beginner at hiking, there's trails for you. If you're an experienced multi-day backpacker, there's tons of places to explore. So for me, that's really been an awesome experience. And then lastly is my business. I love to support local businesses, and I hope that people of Port Alberni will reciprocate. So if you're a tourism business, for one, please check out the support and recovery group on Facebook that's called PA Together for Tourism. And then if you're looking at ways to integrate sustainability, environmental ethics, or social and diversity policies, or anything like that, just feel free to shoot me an email and we can work together and create an even better place to live here in Port Alberni. So that's I'll leave it off as, and thank you so much, Don, and the team from The Wave for inviting me today. It was awesome. Great time chatting.
Oh, thank you for being here. You are a gift to Port Alberni, just as Port Alberni welcomes you. So on behalf of everybody here in Port Alberni, like myself, welcome to the Alberni. That's another meaning of the wave. Welcome to the Alberni Valley experience. We will catch you next time on the wave.